Yeah, hi. Welcome back to WSU 101 Sustainability Issue, Challenges and Prospects. So today we are going to discuss about the module, the sustainable lifestyle, urban planning. So this course will introduce students to the principle of urban planning within the context of the sustainable developments. This resource discuss about the urban growth challenges, infrastructure elements for the sustainable or the smart city with the goal of making urban area functional, attractive, and of course sustainable. So as usual, our course learning outcome CLO1 present the topic of assignment effectively. Second, perform tasks in groups. And the third one, adhere the moral and ethical value in meeting the needs course learning activities. So growth and development are the permanent goal of various society. The most common definition of sustainable development is a development which to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. Traditionally, economic, social, and environmental development are the most important predictors of sustainable developments. So a great constant affect all three key factors called lifestyle. Generally, lifestyle can be defined as the way of life of by people, family, and societies. Lifestyle also can be defined as a set of behavior that is presented by peoples, families, and society in different situations, such as physical, psychological, social, and economical. Of course, lifestyle also is a branch of habits that include social fundamental. So what is sustainable lifestyle? A cluster of habits and patterns of behavior embedded in a society and facilitated by institutions, norms, and infrastructures that frame individual choice in order to minimize the use of natural resources and generation of waste while supporting fairness and prosperity for all. So, generally, cities are hubs for ideas, commerce, culture, science, productivity, social, humans, and economic developments. Sustainable living is fundamentally the application of sustainability to lifestyle choice and decisions. Therefore, lifestyle is related to the way of living and the quality of life in city. Making cities sustainable means that creating career and business opportunity, safe, affordable housing, and build resilient society and economies. Therefore, urban planning, transport system, water, sanitation, waste management, disaster risk reductions, access to the informations, education, and capacity building are all relevant issues to sustainable urban developments. So this is the world map showing the world city. The world city occupied just 3% of the land, but account for 60 to 80% of energy consumption, as we learned in the previous module, and 75% of the carbon emissions. Cities are critical to address the threat of climate change, given their large share of the emissions. So this world map showing how different size cities are distributed and the population classified as the urbans. So looking at the right corner here, how to define a city size by populations. If more than 10 million of population, we can define it as the megacity. 5 to 10 million of population is a large cities. 1 to 5 millions population is medium city. And of course, the small cities can be about 500,000 to 1 million of populations. So what we can see over here is the largest city in the world is Tokyo, which has about 37 million of populations, followed by Shanghai in China. Then we might have the Calcutta over here. Then Mumbai, 28 million. Karachi, 24 million. Then somewhere here is Cairo in Egypt, 24 million. Over here we have New York, 19 million. And somewhere here is Mexico. Mexico has 23 millions. So as a result, 95% of the urban expansion in the next decades will take place in the development countries. So according to the literature, Africans and Asian cities have grown faster since 2000 than cities in other parts of the world. So, and more than half of this continent's population are expected to live in the city by 2050. Followed up by India, China, Nigeria alone are expected to add another 2.5 billion of people to their urban area. As a result, medium and large cities will contribute to more than half of the global growth, followed closely by the small city. So, what is the challenge? As we can see over here on the right hand side, the rapid and often unplanned urbanizations witnessed worldwide has led to the increased pressure on the environments. The environment issue not limit to the water pollution, air pollution, and also the soil degradations and so on. Our city account for up to 80% of energy consumption as well as 75% of global waste and carbon emissions. Last, due to the high concentration of people, infrastructure, housing, and economic activity, cities are particularly vulnerable to climate change and natural disaster. So this is due to the extreme event and maybe the high intensity of the rainfall, floodings, and drought. So as a result, what is the urban growth challenges? First, poverty. Urban poverty was grown by 13% in the past 10 years. And 28% of the urban residents are now said to living in poverty. About the energy, around 30% of the residents live in the city has less access to the electricity or heating fuels. So I think we have learned about in the previous module in the energy security. About the food, people living in low income in urban areas must usually buy their food, and they are particularly vulnerable to fluctuating of pricing. Transport. This is common. Traffic congestion is a common challenges for urban area in developing country. I think we have experienced this in Malaysia, in Penang, Georgetown, Kuala Lumpur, and so on. So apart from the crossing mobility problems, it also damages human health. For example, traffic-related air pollution is linked to the higher risk of death. Next, about the solid waste. Many municipal councils in developing countries are often spend up to half of their budget in waste management. So solid waste management is one of the key and important issue. Then water and sanitation. Poor drainage and sewerage are the others wastewater leave many people living in the polluted environments. So this is one of the issue also. Health. Pollution favor disease transmissions through air, water, and insect. This is not limited to the rural but also urban area. Climate change. The largest share of greenhouse gas emission come from the urban area, approximately 70% globally. Disaster risk. Urban areas are tends to attacked by the vulnerable populations and are often poorly equipped to deal with disaster and extreme events. We have lacked our housing is not resilient. Once the disaster happen, especially for the floodings, so everything we have a very huge of loss. Last, about the housing. Globally, 1 billion of people, most in the developing countries, live in adequate shelter. So these are among the challenges that facing in the world. So therefore, cities are expected to experience challenges related to the growth, performance, competitiveness, and the resilient livelihood. Therefore, waste management, scarce resources, air pollution, water pollution, traffic congestions that cause human health concerns, as well as the aging of public infrastructure are some of the problems generated by the rapid urbanizations. So, cities in the development world are transforming and pioneering innovative planning, integrative design, and the use of technology. In order to address the issue mentioned just now, the smart city concept has emerged as one of the possible solutions. However, whatever they call sustainable city, eco cities, low carbon city, smart city, or zero energy city, so these are all has the same concept. Therefore, a smart city is a city that may aim to make itself smarter, more sustainable, efficient, equitable, and livable. Regardless a city particular state of the development, ensuring the good life of the urban citizens or the residents should be a guiding principle. So, to meet the challenges of the urbanization, we need to take holistic approach when developing urban areas and make the necessary investment. So we have support of the trust of like the green buildings, renewable energy, waste management, water management, smart information system, green space management practices, and then of course in the urban area we still have the green industry, intelligence agriculture system, green manufacturing. So these are the core elements, infrastructure elements of sustainable or the smart city. So of course, the basic in urban infrastructure is not limited to the physical and the social. We need to have the water supply network, drainage network, stormwater networks, solid waste management, electricity networks, fuel energy, fire networks, oil and gas pipeline, telephone and internet. We have the green buildings. In terms of social, of course, we not limit to the education like school, college, and so on. Health, hospital, clinics, green, blue, social placemaking, the landscape park with ponds, water resources elements, and so on. So in general, we need to confirm that we have the adequate water supplies, sanitation including the solid waste management, efficient urban mobility and public transport. Nowadays, people are talking about TOD, transport-oriented design. Then also assure the electricity supply. Then affordable housing, especially for the poor people. Robust information technology connectivity and digitizations. Green Internet of Things (IoT) focus on the green manufacturing, green industry, as well as the intelligence aquaculture, intelligence agriculture system, good governance such as the e-governance, sustainable environments, safety and security of the citizens is important, health and education. So of course, these are also facing some of the natural challenges. For example, in natural, the urban infrastructure also facing the challenges such as droughts, earthquakes, pandemics, extreme of temperature, floodings, infestations, severe storms, tsunami, wildlife. So these are all the natural disaster might also impact to the urban infrastructure. Besides that, there is a category of the technological, such as the building collapse, failure, chemical spill, cyber threats, explosions, fire, gas leak, industry accidents, oil spill, pollution event, poisoning, radiations, transport accidents, system breakdown. And social economic, this is not limited to business discontinuity, corruptions, demographic shift, economic crisis high, unemployment, labor strike, political conflicts, social conflicts, supply crisis such as the food, water, energy, and housing, terrorism, and war. So these all are the factors that will impact to the urban infrastructure and the urbanization growth. So some cities are further along in developing their service than others, with those in the Asia and the Europe leading the pack. Dubai and Singapore, for instance, have large signature infrastructure and buildings projects covered into their plans. They are embracing with IoT, Internet of Things, Here are the some example. For example, the Hong Kong Smart City blueprints. It embraced IoT to build a world farm smart Hong Kong characterized by a strong economy and high quality of living. Singapore, Smart Nation Singapore. A smart nation is a Singapore where people will be more empowered to live meaningful and fulfilled life, enable seamless by technology, offer assisting opportunity for all. Another our neighbor country, Smart City Framework and Guidance for Thailand, Smart City for Phuket. Smart island that leverage advanced technology infrastructure to achieve high living quality for citizens and enhance tourism to drive its economy. How about Dubai? We want to make Dubai the happiest city on earth. Although we know that nowadays, based on the statistic, Dubai is the most stressed. People in Dubai has facing the most stress in the world. As we transform the future of Dubai through smart technology and innovation, we have prioritized happiness as our primary goal. In Malaysia, taking by the example of Cyberjaya Smart City Frameworks. Cyberjaya is a citizen-centric city enable digitalized service through collaborations and open data. This is clearly reflected in our three smart city objectives. First one, increasing the efficiency of public service and city living, improving quality of life, and creating a safe city and improve standard of environmental sustainability. So over here, what we can see here is we can see one common features that is everyone are focused on the technology. Talking about the IoT, talking about the technology, digitalized, and so on. Okay, back to Malaysia. Malaysia became an urban nation in year 1991, when 50.4% of its population live in urban areas. Based on the 5 years internal migrations from population and housing census of Malaysia, year 1991 to 2010, Department of Statistics Malaysia shows that in year 2010, it is approximately 2.5 million of population migrate to urban area. This is not limit to the from the urban to urbans and also from the rural to urbans. So now Malaysia three largest city and its conurbations such as Kuala Lumpur, Johor Bahru and Penang constitute about 70% of the national population. Currently, more than 74% of population live in the city and over 90% of national economic activity is conducted in the city. So in year 2019, we have about 32.6 million of total population in Malaysia. And it is expected raise until to 41.5 million of total populations in year 2040. In general, our urbanization growth of Malaysia in year 2019 is about 76%. Knowing that urbanization is unstoppable and it is the key challenges to manage urbanization for sustainability. So for example, this is the example of land use change due to the urbanization process from forest to the bare land and become the urbans and big city. Photo on the right is to show that the land use change due to the development of Ampang Park in Kuala Lumpur. Circa 1970, Ampang Park was a symbol of the beginnings of big mall in Kuala Lumpur with huge of parking area. But almost 50 years later, the mall was demolished to give way to our MR3, which is a symbol of ultra-urbanization, a city growth, and a higher percentage of population come to live in the city. Therefore, in environment perspective, the picture, despite of the urbanization's growth to ultra-urbanizations, means that more impervious and more risk to the pollutant to be carried into the river, and also might be cause more natural disaster, for example, floodings, if the urban planning is not proper. So this is one of the example that I involved in Sungai Buloh, Selangor. So this is the new township that going to develop in Sungai Buloh, calling Kuasa Damansara. In general, this is about 2,330 acres of lands to be developed as a new green township. So this is a ongoing project. So what you can see over here is about the rivers in the existing land use. Existing land use is rubber plantations, which is owned by the Rubber Research Institute, RRIM. So this is Sungai Kedondong flowing to Sungai Buloh. This is the Sungai Rumput, Sungai Payung flowing to the Sungai Damansara, passing the Subang Airport, and so on. So, as a new development township in Sungai Buloh, Kuasa Damansara also has its blueprints or the frameworks. First, it going to be the green township, which is focused on enhanced ecology and creates urban biodiversity, intensified green density, neutralize carbon emissions, green development components, green travel plans, green infrastructure. For example, our bioecological drainage system is applied in the township developments. Also, the green buildings, adopt urban environment accord action plans. Besides that, as I mentioned just now, TOD, transport-oriented developments, design. So connected is one of the main elements to integrate the transportation networks, which is including connection to the Subang Airport, the MRT, the Duke Highway, pedestrian priority city, and walkable neighborhood. So it linked together from one side to another side using the green and blue corridor, bicycle walkways, cycleways, and then linked to the regional road and highways. So this is a new township, so it brings the Duke Highway, is linked to the Guthrie, and also very near to the NKVE. Linked to the ICT infrastructure. So of course, this is one of the smart city. So of course, it will have the technologies and ICT technology for the smart homes and so on. Another one is inclusive, varying density and type of housing. Of course, in terms of the housing, there is the low density, medium high density, and high density. So some of the places are planned to be low density houses, meaning that maybe only few houses per acres of land. Value homes and mixed incomes housing, such as the affordable home, or in Selangor, Rumah Selangorku, park and open space, vibrant center, safe community, barrier-free environments, preservations of existing features, such as we over here we have the oldest rubber tree in Malaysia. So there are some preservation of the trees, community and facility and amenity. So as a result, when we talk about urban design planning, integrative urban design is essential, which focus on the optimizing whole system instead of single component is becoming more prominent. For example, this is the layout plans by the planners, the overall drainage master plan done by REDAC University Science Malaysia, and also the overall landscape plan by the landscape architect. So over here, we have to coordinate all the infrastructure, the design together. So this also to avoid the crashing, to combine the overall integration of idea in terms of blue and green corridor, for example, drainage, pond, how to integrate with the landscape features, and so on. Yeah, taking this example of river improvement work in Kuasa Damansara. So as an engineer, we as an engineer for river and urban drainage, so what we are thinking and design for the river, we are to make sure the bank stability, we have to make sure the capacity of the river to cater all the flow until up to the 100 years of ARI or the return period. But what is the landscape part? If we just design it as the river, so this is not to suit the initiative of the town development's concept, because it's talk about the green connectivity and the inclusive. So we need to work together with the landscape architect to make sure that this river improvement work also can be a particular of green area that provide multi-use of the facility and amenities for the public, as well as the resident nearby for leisure purpose. So landscape park developed surrounding with a detention pond next to the river can create a comfortable and pleasant environment integrated as visual, which suitable for the benefit and recreational activity. So this is one of the example that how drainage or stormwater engineer to work with the landscape architect. So this is already completed in last 2 years. Next, this slide is about what happens if you cut down all of a city trees. Knowing that by 2050, it is estimated that over 65% of the world will be living in city. We might think of nature of being unconnected to our urban space, but trees have always been essential part of successful city. Humanity has been uncovering this arboreal benefit since the creation of our first city thousands of years ago. So, what makes trees so important to our city? This video underscores the arboreal benefit of tree in an urban space to mitigate climate change impact, reducing the pollutions, and also improve air and water quality. So please copy this link and paste into your browser. View these videos. Okay, this is the activity for this module. Please complete this within 1 week. How would you improve this vacant lot? Total area equal to 1 hectare or 10,000 square meter to help achieve the future you want. Use a A4 paper to draw or sketch out your plan, just plan view, for this vacant lot. Make sure your plan includes each of 3 pillars of sustainability. At the table also, the next paper, you're using the next paper, one for sketch, another one. Please identify how will this area to be used. How will it support the needs for the community for now and the futures? Then also, how will it promote its economy, environment, and the society? So this site is located in front of University Science Malaysia, Taman Pekaka, in front of University Science Malaysia. So this area is about 1 hectare. So in general, the length multiplied the width is about 125 meter multiplied with 80 meter. So you just use the A4 paper, sketch what about your plan. Just plan, no matter the commercial area, industry area, whatever the parks, recreational, just plan for it, no problems. We are not limited to the restriction of the land use planning, follow the government law or the requirements. We have no follow on that, but I just want you to propose what is your planning for this vacant lot in Taman Pekaka for the future developments. So of course, what you can see over here, currently this is the oil palm plantations, but future will be developed for the housing area. But of course, there is a piece of land, its vacant lot is about 1 hectare. So let us know what is your plan. Then please submit into the open learning. All right. Thank you so much. So thank you. Have a nice day.